Welcome everyone. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare live chat. You are in the right place. Hope everybody's doing good. I have a uh, announcement. So next week, let me make sure the calendar's right. Next week is the first Monday of the month. First Monday of the month now. We're going to do the live chats that Thursday. So next week's live chat will be Thursday the 8th. So I'll do a reminder and all that for you. Don't have to remember, but if you're missing the live next Monday, it's because it's not happening on Monday, it's happening on Thursday. Same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Um, those in different time periods, go ahead and jump in and say what your local time is. Um, so I'm joining a beekeepers group. So I'll be learning about bees and being involved in that group. They help each other out, they train new people, they do a whole bunch of cool things. So that is a monthly meeting that happens the first Monday of the month. And so that is why I'm doing that. All the other ones will continue to be on Monday. We're just changing that one. And it worked out. I think all of the other live chats that I know about, it doesn't conflict with, so it'll be right after Slightly Rednecks with Chris. So it'll be right after his on Thursdays, on the first when the first Monday of the month happens that Thursday. Anyway, let me close the calendar so I can see you guys. So welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to start in with the hellos and highs, but I did want to tell you, if you have not watched the weekend review. Um, so last week's live we did out by the bunnies, and it went forever. Feel free to rewatch that. You can fast forward through it. I totally understand. It's a very long one. It's as long as my cell phone lasted. Um, and we almost got it on the live, but not quite. Miss Rigatoni had babies, and I did actually get it on my camera. So that's going to be coming out tomorrow. I'm going to have two different versions. One, the long version, what you see is continued from our live chat. Now, the live last week, she started pulling fur on, uh, is it 26 minutes in? I think Steve said that. So 26 minutes in, and she starts pulling fur. Now, she had a baby on the wire alive at before 5:30. I found it at 5:30 when I went out to feed. And so I don't know how long it had been there. That one didn't end up making it. But um, because she had her babies just before midnight. So the two versions I'm going to put out tomorrow are, one is just the continuation, and then the other one goes straight to the birth. So if you just want to see babies being born, go there. If you want to see the whole thing, or maybe fast forward through the whole thing because it is, it's the whole thing, then go the longer version. It is interesting to watch them pull fur and all that. And man, she has a bald spot on her chest now because she kept on pulling fur. So she wasn't done pulling fur after she had her babies. She then pulled for the next 2 nights. And boy, her babies were heated up, nice and comfy. Anyway, and then Risotto Bunny had 10 babies. So they are ramping up for sure. So, all right, I'm going to go up to the top, say hellos and highs, and see how people are doing. Let us know where you are, what you're growing, where you're from. All right. Verna's here. Fourth like, first comment after mine. Yeah, I did a comment at the beginning to join Katrina's Kits. We're going to be doing some fun things. I'll wait a little bit until go into that, but yeah, we had a fun weekend. All right, and Verna is in blue with a little wrench. She's one of my moderators, and if you are in an apartment setting and want to grow things, check out her channel. PJ's here until she falls asleep. So PJ already had her allotment of cake for the day, is what she told me in different words. So yeah, cake. We made some cake as part of the members. It was fun. All right, everybody saying hi. Homestead Matters. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Welcome. And Steve says happy Monday, y'all, as well. I guess that's how we're supposed to say it. Happy Monday, Steve. And Steve is also the moderator in Blue Little Wrench. Catches all the bad guys and puts all the links, both of them. Thank you guys for moderating. And I can't really get out. There's something over here and something over here. But Steve, my birthday present came. Thank you. Thank you. I got a vacuum sealer for the jar that is electric. Awesome. Erica's here. Hello, Erica says. Hello, Erica. And yeah, so there is, if you are a member, she's also a member. If you're a member, then there is a poll right now, and about Saturday or Sunday, next Saturday or Sunday for our next Cook With Me Live, we're going to be cooking, we're going to be baking. Okay, after these two sweet things, we need to have like some real meals. But we're going to be baking some things. I'm doing a bake sale. I'm participating in bake sale, so we're going to make some buns. We're going to make some muffins and some cookies. So it's going to be fun. Anyway, but you got to vote for the day. All right. Okay. I processed 4 rabbits. I was going to process the other 4 today. Did not happen. And you know what? They're only a week late. I looked at my calendar. I thought I was a couple weeks late. No, I'm just a week late, which is fine. And yeah, so there's 4 more. I was going to do them between work and this, but I had to call tech support like 4 times today. So that time got eaten up by more work. Yeah. Yeah, so the why is I'm doing a B class on meeting there. It's good. Thursdays are busy. Yep. Every day's busy. Every day's busy. All right. Learning about the birds and the bees. Just the bees. I know about the birds and the bees. All right. Steve says the Thursday time. Well, it's the same time no matter what, but 6 p.m. Oh, Thursday Matt has Thursday too? I didn't know Matt had Thursday. Okay. Oh no, Matt Thursday. Okay, Matt time. Okay, 8 Central and 9 Eastern. I think Matt time is it Mountain? Is he in Mountain? Anyway, Buster says hey to all. Hey Buster, welcome, welcome. And Joy says hello all from sunny Western Oregon. Hello Joy. It has been sunny yesterday it started off cloudy, but it has been sunny, which is a turn of events. Yeah. Ooh, Joy's bunny's eyes open the day after you took pictures. If you have not seen pictures of Joy's bunnies, she posted on the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. And if you guys want to talk about things like that, share your pictures and stuff, homestead related, go ahead and join the Facebook group. Answer the questions, accept the rules, and you can see Joy's bunnies. I think that's awesome. Yeah, 26 minutes into the live, Rigatoni starts pulling fur. Thank you, Steve. Jacob's here. Hello to all. Hello, Jacob. Welcome, welcome. Jacob also popped in for our Cook With Me Live. I don't know if you went back and did it on your own, but it's delicious. All right. Quail started hatching at Buster's. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. Verna says, good luck and happy hatching, Buster. I agree. You got a whoop whoop from Steve. Yes, mountain time is Matt time. We can call it Matt time. Is it like hammer time? Oh. Oh, dinosaur omelet is at 8:30. Okay. I didn't know when they were on. Thank you, Verna. All right, Jackie's here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jackie. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Good, good, good. So I want to share with you guys, make you jealous, have you join. If you want to join the channel and do these things with us, we have a lot of fun doing it. And I will show you what we made. We made beef stroganoff, but the exciting thing that we made is Robert Redford cake. And instead of berries, I use peaches. But that is quite the cake. And yes, I'm going to eat part of it in front of you. Of course I am. Did you expect me not to? It has like a ganache on the top. It has no flour. It's mostly egg and chocolate, honestly. And super good, super yum, yum, yum. Mm-mm. Perfect. So, if you want to make that kind of stuff with us, join. All of those recipes, all of those live chats that we did are available for replay if you are a member. So there is the link I put in the chat. It's also in the description of all the videos. Join, and it's fun. You can go back and see all the other ones too. Jacob says, I have not yet been super busy. Finally got my chicken coop built today, and my birds moved out there today. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, there's it's busy here. It's busy here. Part of being busy too is having a full-time job and starting up this property, right? Like getting it ready for like doing garden expansion and doing all these other things. And so I only have so much time outside of work. So I get it. I get it. You would never make anything named for Robert Redford? That's okay, Erica. It was an old recipe and it is a really good cake. That was not the original name. The original name, I don't know what it was, but it was from a restaurant in New York. So, all right, the cake. So PJ says the cake was delicious. Beef, not stroganoff, was yummy too. She doesn't like sour cream on her beef stroganoff, so she did cheese, which it sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. So yeah, it is delicious. You did not eat the whole thing though, did you? Anyway, so there's our little bragging point. And then, yeah, mostly, honestly, what's happened this week, bunnies and then people moving dirt here. That's pretty much it. We got the solar power. It's not connected up. The wire isn't run yet, but the solar panels are up, which is exciting for me. I think that's a really, really like seeing it there. It's like, oh, it's making progress. So they're not here every day. They're here a day or two and then go somewhere else. That's kind of how it works when you have someone work at your house. And yeah. Oh, okay. Erica was at a filming location and he was not a good person. Okay. Okay. Well, I will eat the cake. We can call it chocolate, 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 chocolate egg cake. Yeah, I know you didn't eat it. I know you didn't eat the whole thing, PJ. Froze most of it in smaller portions and shared with my daughter today for lunch. Awesome. I had neighbors over. I still have some too, but I had neighbors over yesterday and we had cake and milk. So that was good. Yeah. Jacob says, I'm also hatching a ton of birds currently. 9 out of 11 Easter eggers hatched out. I also have 140 quail eggs hatching out as we speak. Last I was able to count, I was at 45 hatched so far. Awesome. Are you keeping all of them as egg layers, or are you doing meat, or what are you doing with the quail? I don't have quail yet again because I don't have the infrastructure yet. It's probably not going to happen this year. I thought it was going to happen this year. No. Too many things going on. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. So I want to know what you guys have for questions. What's going on in your yard? Are you guys planted yet? I'm not planted yet. I did buy starts. I did, I have all these trees and stuff. My food forest area is not ready yet. It's not going to be for a while. But one of the people that I had working here took all the good dirt they dug up over in the front yard and put it up on the hill for me because, oh my gosh, I did 4 wheelbarrows worth. And when your wheelbarrow uphill, it has a little thing in front of the tire, you have to wheelbarrow very low. It's not very fast. Um, and I told him what I was doing, and he's like, "Oh, I can bring my dump trailer." I'm like, "Okay, let's do that." And so the piles of dirt that were in the driveway from underneath the house are going to go in the front yard. So we got some good dirt up in the garden area in huge piles. I need to finish laying down cardboard and then cover it up. And it's going to be a good process. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be a good process. So I think, that's awesome to have somebody able to do that in less than an hour instead of me taking weeks and weeks to do it in my spare time. Yeah. Yeah. PJ says, I couldn't have my milk with it today. Used all the fresh milk to make yogurt for my grandson. Number 2. Awesome. That's okay. That's an acceptable thing. So PJ has goats that she milks. Yeah. Jacob says, I'm hatching them to sell for the most part right now. I have my smaller incubator full. That are getting added to breeding stock. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, once you find a market for that, it makes sense to just go for it, Yeah, I have not warmed up my incubators. It will happen. I feel like a lot of these things I wanted to happen sooner, but they just haven't. They just haven't. And that's okay. So, yeah. Anyway. So what are you guys growing? The other thing that I was gonna say is I had him dig a trench so that I can just plant everything in a row that I'm going to move. So the trees, the shrubs that I bought for the food forest, I'm going to plant in this trench that he made, and have some rat manure in there, have some just native earth, because it's going to be mostly a native earth in the food forest, and get it started. It'll grow there this season, and then in the winter I'll dig them up. Hopefully by then the food forest will be ready for them, and in the winter I'll dig them up and put them there, so they'll actually be in the ground, which is a little late, but it's okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Yes, PJ, I'm still getting settled. It's okay. Yep. I know. I just wanted it to be faster. Joy says, I bought some seeds for purple tomatillos. Yummy. It takes 2 to tomatillo, so if only one comes up, you need to either plant another or go buy one. And going to see if my friend will start them for me, then share. Good. I love to make green sauce. We'll see how purple sauce turned out. They taste exactly the same, pretty much. I grew them at my old place. They're good. The yellow ones taste a little different. Well, the purple ones taste, I think they're pretty much exactly the same, if not the same. Yeah. Jacob said, I started my own quail business. I formed the LLC 2 months ago. Congratulations. But I'm not ready to share that info yet. Want to have my MPIP certification before I go public. All sales are local right now. That is awesome. Good. That is, it's a good feeling for sure. And everybody's saying awesome, smart move. How much room do you have there? Are you asking me how much room I have here? The property is almost 70 acres. The majority of that is forested and will remain forested. I think it's about an acre that I'm mostly clearing for a food forest. It hasn't started yet. I'm in the beginning part. And then the garden is being expanded, and I don't know how big it is, but it's more than doubling what it was. So, and my plans for that is to have the front part be also for nursery. So, like, if I can grow either plants for myself or plants to sell, like trees and shrubs and stuff like that, then that gives me a space to do it in. It will be fenced for deer and elk and stuff. So, yeah, that'll be good. Hey, my dad's here. Welcome. The wildflowers are starting to bloom here. Aster, monkey flowers, flax, and others. Awesome. The monkey flowers at my parents are like this big. They're super cute, and they are used. They're medicinal for some sort of heart medicine. I don't remember what it's supposed to do, but something with the heart. Very cool. We're into the blooming season for sure. There's things popping up everywhere. In fact, there's I recorded the other day going up the hill, and I'll probably push that forward. Well, maybe not. I'll do it after stuff that's already out, or already scheduled. But there's a lot of violets, and they're yellow. So I was in the video. I wasn't sure if they were violets or not because they look like violets, but they're yellow, and the leaf looks like violets. It is yellow. And we actually have, and I didn't know this until I kind of looked it up, we have a native bleeding heart. There's a Pacific bleeding heart here. And I thought, oh, wow, why is, someone planted this way up here? A bird must have gotten it. Like, what's with this? And what it is it's a native here. So I have some up by the house, which is why I think, oh, this must be planted. But no, it's native, which is very cool. Yeah. Jackie says, I ended up with 24 quail. They are such a joy. I can't plant for a couple weeks yet. I have peppers, tomatoes, and eggplant seedlings. So far, way more to come. Yeah, mine are in boxes still. I mean, the box is open, but and then I have sweet potatoes that are in here, and I need to get those out there soon. But I think the weather looks pretty good for planting now. I've heard around here it's Mother's Day, which is we got a couple weeks, but just be prepared to protect them. Yeah, I did get some starts because I haven't set up my seed starting area. I know where it's going to be, I think, but I just haven't done it yet. All right. Everybody saying hi. Really nice. Yes, so almost 70 acres. Really nice. Yeah, the food forest area, I've already warned the neighbors it's going to look terrible before it looks good because the trees are coming out, and you don't want to be the person who moves into the neighborhood and takes out all the trees, right? But yeah. Yep. And Jacob says, I do have all my seeds started and most have come up in the trades. Yay. I'm still working on a new full-size garden this year. I did all raised beds last year. I'm doing a mix this year. I really like raised beds for a few reasons. Number one, you get to control what's in it. So if the soil is good or bad or different or whatever, you get to control what's in it. Two, you get to control the drainage because it's up off of the ground. Three, you're going to have plants start earlier because it heats up faster. And then four, it's easier to work in because it's higher. So I'm not doing raised beds, but I think what I'm going to do, the garden this year, I think is going to stay pretty much the same. I'm going to add some rabbit manure and stuff. It'll be in ground, but then outside of the current one, I am doing mounds. So I've done this before when I just didn't have time to do raised beds with like edges and stuff. And I'll probably just do mounds. And I could at some point in the future, when I take trees down for the food forest, to make way for the food forest, I could, lay those down as borders to hold things. I could do a lot of things, but right now I'm just going to do mounds, like long raised things, and that should be good enough. So that's what I'm planning on doing for now. Peter says violets can be yellow too. Yes, that is, I believe, what's there. Okay, Jackie's plants are in boxes too. Good. Good. And Joy says that you have bleeding hearts here too. They are really pretty. Yeah, they're really light pink. They're not the dark pink with the white that I'm used to seeing like in stores. But they're exactly, I mean, I knew what they were as soon as I saw them. I mean, if you have that name and you don't know what it is, you're gonna know what it is when you see it. So I'm having another bite of the cake that we made for the membership. And it's delicious. And yes, today I'm eating it in front of you. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. So, something that I thought I saw early on here that I don't think I saw, that now I have to like go back and look, is wild ginger. Because we do have wild ginger here. Um, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that I have it. So, yeah. And learning the ones that are here, um, the flowers, the plants, all there's so many things coming up. Lemon balm came up. Lemon balm. I bought lemon balm, guys. Lemon balm is a weed here, which is fine with me because it's delicious and it smells good and it has bug repelling properties. Yeah. Yep. Um, Rita says the ones in stores are usually Asian bleeding hearts. Okay. And after live stream, Verna's going to make some cranberry bread similar to raisin bread. I have not heard of you doing cranberry bread. Do you use craisins to do that? Yeah. Um, yeah, there's a lot of flowers right now. I think there might be a sour cherry. Okay, yes, you do use craisins. I think there is a sour cherry that's blooming right now based off of some things that I've heard from people. I think I have a bunch going up the driveway to the other house, and then there's one just off the pasture down there that's pretty big. Um, I'll have to see what it turns into. I don't know that for sure, but it sure looks like a cherry, and I guess there's a sour cherry that kind of grows wildish here. Yeah. So this last week, I did have a wildlife biologist come out who's mostly a fisheries person, but from Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and they come out to your land for free and assess different things. And we talked about fencing, so I have some kind of directions on how to do fencing better, which I probably won't do until I actually have animals in the fencing that are not in a rabbit tractor. But one of the things he said is that both deer and elk, especially the young ones, can get stuck in the wire when it's loose and when it's kind of hanging. So he said to tighten it and to put like a board on top, something solid they can see. That way, when they go over, if they bump it, and that's fine. So anyway, so that was something that um, was interesting that he said. He talked about different species out here, animal wise, and like flying squirrels and that kind of thing. So that was interesting. Um, Also said that I think it was coho, can actually swim into the floodwaters of a field. That, I mean, they don't need much water, like that much water. Like they can just get up out of the flood water or out of the turbid water from flooding and then go back. So that's interesting. Yeah. Homestead Matter says bleeding heart is a favorite here. Accidentally planted a Marionberry in a bleeding heart, so they share now. Erica says, I found wild roses at the back hayfield this weekend. Awesome. I'll definitely be going back for the rose hips. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of rose hips, mostly in the pasture. There's some up the hill, but mostly in the pasture. And yeah, once you know where they are, you know where they are, right? Um, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So is anybody growing anything new this year? I'm growing, I forget what I got. Oh, I got some rhubarb starts. I'm not a fan of rhubarb, but there's two reasons to grow rhubarb in my mind besides eating it because I'm not a fan. One, it's supposed to keep the gophers out. I'm assuming you'd have to have quite a bit of rhubarb in the ground, surrounding something for that to happen. But then also to sell it later. So if I wanted to grow rhubarb and then cut the stalks and sell those, I could do that. So I had the opportunity. I don't remember how many I got, like one or two, but that'll be good. I will be doing comfrey. People keep asking me if I have comfrey here, and I haven't seen it yet, but I may come upon it. So I mean, I did have it at my old place, but I don't know about here. I haven't seen it yet. So, but now that is something that you can feed your animals. Basically any of the animals, as far as I know, will eat comfrey. And Steve loves rhubarb. Strawberry rhubarb pie. It's a really good way to ruin a strawberry pie. I haven't had it in many many years, so who knows? I might have different tastes now, but at least when I had it, it was not great. And the leaves are poisonous, in case anybody needs to hear that. Jacob says, I love strawberry rhubarb jam. That is the whole reason I grow rhubarb. There you go. There you go. PJ loves rhubarb too. My animals ate mine all up last year. Oh my gosh. Erica says, I wish I could grow rhubarb here. I love it. You probably can. Is it the heat or the cold? Because I think PJ's colder than you. You probably can. Yeah, Verna says I haven't eaten rhubarb since I was a kid. Yeah. I think I've only had it as strawberry rhubarb pie. I don't know. Maybe my dad can chime in if I have. Homestead Matter says just transplanted comfrey from a local. So stoked to try extra greens for chickens. The chickens love comfrey. The rabbits love comfrey. The quail love comfrey. Everybody loves comfrey. There is a warning for humans not to use it internally, and I will let you research that on your own. Yeah. Erica says I used to grab it and eat it straight out of the yard as a kid. Jacob says I am expanding my rhubarb beds this year to sell some as well. See, that's I think a good smart idea. And Homestead says Bimart has rhubarb, and I debated, so now I'm second guessing that. Go back. I'm not a member. I think I used to be a member of Bimart years and years and years ago. And I went in to this one, the local one, when I first got here and was looking for something specific. And they said they were gonna like start. They're fine with letting people in, but they were gonna start not letting people in that aren't a member. I don't know. My mom worked at Bimart in the summertime when she wasn't teaching some years. So well versed in that. Oh, it doesn't get cold enough there, Erica. Okay. And Verna says, loved it as a kid, but not enough to buy it. You need to find it on the landscape. I'm sure it grows wild somewhere where you are. So Erica, what zone are you in? What planting zone? Does it need freezing for a certain amount of time? Yeah. Steve says, I tried to grow rhubarb, but it was a no-go. I transplanted some from a 50-year-old producing plant that I brought in from Illinois. Oh, wow. And it didn't work, or that finally worked? Wow. Jacob says, me and my cousins used to walk through the woods with a cup of sugar and look for rhubarb and peel it and dip it in the sugar and eat it. Oh my gosh. Where is rhubarb native to? Anybody know? Without asking Google. Oh, Weimar is still $5? Okay. Whatever it was, they were changing whatever the membership stuff, and I don't remember what it was. And I thought I was a member, but maybe I just had my parents' card. I don't know. Yeah. So my dad says we have never had to show Weimar membership card, etc. So that's what they said. It's changing. So they at least at the local one. I don't know if it's changing everywhere, or is it just because they know you? Erica says I didn't use sugar. I love the sour. I like sour. I like sour. Rhubarb prefers cooler temperatures and extended chilling periods, Steve says. Okay. Siberia? What? Oh, that's where it's native to. I thought that was your answer to the planting zone. Okay, it's native to Siberia. So that would make sense that it needs to be cold, huh? They just want you to show a card. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was more than that when I talked to them. It might not have been, but I felt like it was. So I don't know. Weimar was the first store that I knew about that had a membership. Like I don't think like Safeway or Albertsons, it's not really membership. You just kind of have a card with a thing, but that has a membership. Yeah, I don't know what that means. It means you're a part of the decision-making body. Erica's 7B. Okay. Well, I'm 8B. Are you sure it doesn't get cold enough there? Try it. In hotter climates, rhubarb is an annual. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask my dad something. You remember when we moved in to the Central Oregon house? Was that rhubarb that was by the garden? The dogs ate it when we took it out. We took it out because I don't know if we didn't know what it was or if we didn't like it. Can you remind me what we did? Brenna says plant in the fall and harvest in spring. Okay. Okay. So try it. Try it, Erica. I mean, try it next fall. Don't try it now. Yeah, I just know it's supposed to keep the gophers away. That's all I know. But yeah. All right. So yeah, in the back of the garden. Yeah, you think it was? All right. Yeah, I remember we put it maybe on the burn pile and the dogs ate it. I remember someone probably I don't know who. I remember someone being worried that they were gonna like die because of the leaves, but I don't know if they're eating the leaves or the stems. Yeah. It can be grown there, it just needs pampering, Erica says. Well, how much do you love it? Joy says we had to show our cards for a short time, but they stopped doing it now in McMinnville. I buy the layer pellets they sell because they're smaller and my quail eat them better. Shop there a lot. Yeah, when I used to live by right there by it wasn't right by the Biomart, but it was there. I think we went in quite a bit. I perused when I was in this one, and nothing really jumped out at me as like a need, you know. But I don't think they had feed. If they did, it wasn't inside, or I didn't see it. Cost $3 when you join. Yeah, you don't have to show your card anymore because they know you. That's right. All right, Steve says, while the rhubarb leaves are toxic, it would take 9 to 18 pounds of leaves to be fatal. So a bite wouldn't be pleasant tasting. It would or wouldn't? Probably wouldn't kill you. Well, I don't want to make promises, Steve. um, yeah, but it does bring up the point of being aware of what else is out there. Yeah, would not kill you. That's what I thought. Um, so poison hemlock is a thing that I guess people confuse with carrots or wild carrots or whatever, which I don't really understand because if you smell it, you know you're not supposed to eat it. So if you see something that looks like a wild carrot, the identifiers for that is purple spots. If it has purple spots, leave it alone. Also, if you break off the vegetation and you smell it and you're like, I should not put that in my mouth, don't put it in your mouth. That's my story on poison hemlock because it will it will cause you issues, real issues. Mm-hmm. Up to and including death. So yeah. Um, are there any other plants you guys know about that's like that? I know there's sumac and poison sumac. Um, and I've heard poison sumac is here, but I looked it up and I thought it was only on the East Coast. And I haven't seen anything that looks remotely like sumac here. But I mean, I do have property that was logged, so who knows if that was taken out at poison oak. That's true. Yeah. Erica says you can dig it up and store the roots in the freezer over summer. Wow, that's severe. Homestead says it took me a year to realize you needed a card for Bimart. They carry chicken feed. That's about it. Okay. Okay. But still, if they carry it, they carry it. I'm trying a new chicken feed. My girls have not been laying. I think it's that, and it might also be because they're inside pretty much all the time. Because the fencing has not been done. That might come into it. They should be getting enough light because I have a light in there, and they get light through the windows. The windows are like pretty big, so I'm hoping this new food helps because they should be laying. They're 4 years old, but they should be laying more than they are. I had to get eggs from a neighbor for this 10 egg recipe of a cake. Yes, Erica, I know. The flower head of wild carrots is different too. It's a poison, yeah, and so poison hemlock. They're different. They don't look different. They definitely smell different to me. But yeah. Um and Vernon says poison hemlock smells like wild carrots. I don't think it does. Absolutely not. But it might to some people. It does not to me. Um she says, if you see a red blossom in the flower cluster, then it is safe. Okay. Yeah, to me, poison hemlock smells like you shouldn't have it inside of you. Yeah. Um, Steve says poison sumac is primarily found in the eastern and southeastern United States and Great Lakes area. That's what I thought. Not native to Oregon yet. I don't think it's native to Oregon. That's what I thought. And someone like I've had two people tell me. Well, one person thought that the maple was poison sumac. I'm like, that doesn't even have the same leaf. Um, but yeah, I have been told by two people that poison sumac, and like, I don't think we have it. Yeah, so Joy says lots of that here. Unfortunately, I'm trying to teach city folk that moved here about poison hemlock. Yeah. Yeah. It's to me it's pretty easy to identify. Purple dots and smells horrid. Plus I'm allergic to it, which sounds ridiculous to say that I'm allergic to something that's fatal. But the pollen I'm allergic to. Gets me all stuffy. Verna says red sumac is great. Tastes like pink lemonade. Don't they use the berries too to do that? Sithi. Welcome, Sithi. How are you doing? Um oh, good morning. You must be not in the United States. Where are you from? What you growing? Nice to meet you too. Yeah, let us know what you're growing and where you're coming from. Welcome. Okay, Joy says Queen Anne's lace has the tiny red flower in the center. Okay. Okay. And I'm less familiar with Queen Anne's lace. I know about it, and I think I have it here. What I have up here is not poison hemlock, though. I know that. Yeah, hemlock does grow fast. Verna says I had to educate people as it grows so fast. The kids seem to try to go near it. Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Well, good to know about the red flower. I didn't know about that. So Verna and Joy got that one. It's the flower head. Okay, use the flower head with the berries. Okay, to make the lemonade. Yeah, there's also something called a pink lemonade berry, which is native to California, and it's used for lemonade. There's also pink lemonade berry, which is like a blueberry relative. That's not what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah, Queen Anne's lace is wild carrot. I thought there was multiple kinds of wild carrot. Anyway, okay, it's the same. um Parsnips is also something that I want to be growing, but it's not the time right now. I think that's another one that you plant in the fall and collect in the spring or winter or plant late summer, something like that. Because I really, really like parsnips. And growing up, there was only one recipe that we used it for, which is a soup. And um, I've since learned that you can use it for other things and just cook it up. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Andy's here. Hi, Andy Rand. Hi, Andy Rabbit. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. I did get video of Miss Rigatoni having her babies, and that's going to be up tomorrow. So it's the first time I've actually caught a birth. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Anybody who's squeamish, maybe don't eat it. No, don't eat it. Don't do that either. Maybe don't watch it. She does eat the placentas, so that's a natural thing for a rabbit to do. But yeah, yep. And Joy says I had a friend that used Queen Anne's lace in making apple jelly. Wonderful flavor. Interesting. And Steve says parsnips are a cold weather plant in spring before last frost. I had it on a seed packet that it's planted like early fall. Maybe I have it wrong. I'm thinking, I don't know. I'll check it. It's not happening right now. Got it. Yes. So Andy, rigatoni well, I didn't tell, but I can tell. I can tell you guys, so it's not a surprise. So rigatoni, I had so last Monday's live chat went so long. I had it out with bunnies. We watched rigatoni doing her thing. Oh, we also caught Penne nursing her baby, so we went up there for a little bit and then came back. And then at minute 26 in the live chat is when when Rigatoni started pulling fur. before that point, at 5:30, before I started the live chat, I found a baby on the wire. It was alive and moving. She had cleaned it up. Placenta was gone. But it would have died if I didn't find it, right, just from the elements. And it did end up succumbing. I ended up having it in my hand, then I put it, in my bra, and it was fine. And then, these little movements and stuff. And by the time she got around to having her babies just before midnight, it was too late and it had passed. So she ended up having 9 total, with 3 stillborns and 1 um, early that didn't make it. So she has 5 babies right now, and she's been pulling so much fur. And then we also have Miss Risotto, and she had 10 babies. And I did today's video, the week in review, has her first pulling fur. I didn't go through the whole thing because it was just like a couple days before, but she pulled fur, and I have her first pulls. She looked at me with her, fur in her mouth. So yeah, she had 10 babies. So there we go. There we go. Oh, Steve won. 9. Yep. Yep. There was 9 babies. But 5 of them are currently with us. Joy says we also have cow parsnips, which has a huge flower head and gets around 8 feet tall. Also carrot family. I forgot about those. They're in wetter areas, right? Yeah. How long after the live does she have the babies? So Rigatoni she had them right before midnight. So I don't remember how long we were on the live for. It was like 4 hours and something. It was ridiculous. But I wanted to catch it if you guys, were there. I wanted to catch it and show you guys live. But she didn't quite make the battery cut. Yeah, it was right before midnight. So the live started at 6. And so it was more than 6 hours from the first born. Yeah. Yes, and I'm gonna have the videos come out tomorrow. There's gonna be 2 videos. One will just be straight up. If you want to watch the whole thing, keep watching, like continuation from the live chat. And then the other one is just gonna be the birth, because I figure there's gonna be some people that will enjoy watching the whole thing, and there's gonna be some people that really just want to see what rabbit birth is like. So I'll put them both up. I hopefully I'll put them both up tomorrow. Yeah. No, total was 9, Verna, for rigatoni. Risotto had 10 alive, all alive. Now, I don't know if there was any not alive, but there was no leftovers when I got there in the morning. Yeah. Joy says parsnips can be stored in the ground as well in cold weather. I used to dig them up for soup in wintertime. Yes, you can do it with carrots too, I believe. Yeah, the early ones don't make it. That it tends to be the case, and with no other warmth, and I don't know when the milk happens and all of that. So, yeah. But it would have died if I was not there. It would have died anyway, but it would have died cold, and instead this time it died warm, which I don't know which was better, but there you go. Steve is doing correct math. Andy says, once I had a doe for 2 or 3 days, I found 1 baby on the wire. Then she went on and had a good litter, but I don't remember how many anymore. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every once in a while there'll be one on the wire, or one in the nest box that didn't make it, or maybe was stillborn. What was interesting is it was pretty clear to me that she knew that those babies weren't there. She did eat their placentas, but she kind of sniffed them, and then she was done. She didn't like try and lick them and clean them off or anything. She didn't try to care for them. They were gone, and she knew they were gone. So, and they were the last 3 out. Yeah. So, bunny birth. Andy, look at last week's live. I charged up my cell phone before it, and it went the full battery of my cell phone. How long is it? Let's see. Let's see. It was 4 hours, 12 minutes, and 14 seconds was the live chat last time. And it was a lot of me saying the same thing over and over again. But it was not about me saying things. It was about seeing what Rigatoni was going to do. Joy says, yes, we have a lot of them close to the creek. Poison hemlock grows up in the drier areas. Really? In the areas that I'm used to seeing it, it's right by the creeks. It must be too wet for them maybe here. I mean, I'm used to seeing it in a different, a drier environment altogether. But yeah. Robert Redford cake. Cook with me live. If you haven't done it, join the membership. Get the recipes, watch the videos, and you can be able to watch the previous videos too. So that's cool. Okay. Rita says water hemlock is just as poisonous. I don't know water hemlock. Isn't that just poison hemlock? Water hemlock. Okay. Well, there we go. Anyway. Yeah, don't eat poisonous things. Yeah, I just saw that they're different. I guess knowing your poisonous plants in your area is important. Okay, talk to PJ. Is PJ still awake? She might have gone to sleep. She has early morning. Yeah, so Joy says that cake would use up a lot of my quail eggs. Exactly. So it takes 10 regular chicken eggs, like large chicken eggs. And PJ separated too. So it has to be separated. PJ was doing quail eggs and duck eggs. And she's like, wait, I'm not done. It's pretty funny. Steve says, maybe not eat everything that is green. Exactly. So the water hemlock does not have purple splotches? Okay. PJ, how many quail eggs did you use for the cake that we made? Yeah, so I typically use 4 quail eggs for 1 chicken egg. So for me, it would be 40. Verna's saying 40 to 50. I know PJ did quail and duck, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work for those things, but when you're doing it, talking while you do it, and you enjoy it, it's good. Okay, you only had 20 quail eggs, use duck eggs for the rest. That's good. That's good. I do want ducks eventually. I would like to have ducks in my food forest on the underside of the food forest. Of course, on the not the upper side. I would like to have them in the understory. I think it would be great to have like Muscovy ducks or runner ducks or some of those fun ducks as slug protection. Because oh my goodness, guys, there are slugs here. There's banana slugs. There's other slugs. There's snails. I saw a snail this morning. I took a video of it, and the snail was like that big, and the shell was like that big, and it was brownish reddish. So I don't know what kind it was, but yeah, Muscovy. Yep, I think that would be fun. I think they're fun. I don't know why I think they're fun. They're just fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big snail, and it wasn't like an apple snail. It was a land snail that with the so the it was like skinny like that, the shell, and then like that big around. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Steve has a suggestion for Erica that you can make the cake because it's other names is better than Robert Redford cake. Oh my gosh. That's okay. You can rename it. That's fine. She renamed it. She renamed it from the restaurant name. Uh-oh. Verna detests slugs and snails. One time at my old place, my dad, well, I think both my parents were visiting, and my dad was, there's a slug over here. And he thought I was going to go over there and tell him what it was and like identify it and stuff like that. And I went over there and I stepped on it, and he looked at me. I thought you were going to tell me what it was. Nope. Nope. Oh, hi, Serena. Serena says, hi, cousins. Welcome. And Homestead says, snails and slugs are a nemesis. The struggle is real. I know. And here, I'm not used to so many slugs. Like, I keep avoiding stepping on banana slugs. And at my old place, what I did is there were snails. So like I would go out and pick snails. I would pick like 4 cups of snails a night. Um, and that's too many snails. And then when I brought in the wood chips into my garden, the number went down significantly. So that was really cool. But um, something that I found here in the forest is there's not much duff. So duff is the stuff on the bottom of the forest, the litter that's piled up. And I asked the forester that was out here, and I asked a couple people about that, and basically it just doesn't form. It decomposes so fast here that it doesn't form a layer. Um, but I see millipedes out every single night, sometimes in the daylight too. There's millipedes out. I've just started seeing roly polies. There's earthworms galore. There's slugs and snails. There's a lot of decomposers, centipedes. Um, I've only seen little ones so far, but there's a lot of decomposers here. So they will take care of all of that stuff, and it's a really good thing they do, but it does mean that things go away quickly. All right. Scrolling. Serena says, what do underground rodents do when they want something? They go for it. I keep telling people I have big gophers in my front yard. Little equipment. Yeah. Steve, I got it. See, I don't do that, Steve. Salt with slugs. I know it likely works, but what a way to go. Copper does work for them, and I believe cinnamon. I mean, I wouldn't waste cinnamon on getting rid of slugs, but copper works for them. Like the copper tape. Yeah. Also, I like that you say slug season. Carolina Kynes here. Cheers. Welcome. Homestead says I'm trying dead raspberry canes as barriers this year pretty successfully. Good. Obviously not thornless. That is a good idea. Little sharp things. Yeah. I'm sure they'd work. I mean, like it's stabby. It's not good. We have I've used eggshells, like really crumbled up eggshells. You can use DE, diatomaceous earth. I mean, I guess that's just as mean as a salt shaker. Death by a thousand cuts versus salted. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the reason why there's not much on the forest floor as far as detritus and decaying things. There's also tons of mushrooms here. There's mushrooms. There's truffles, which is a type of mushroom, and there's all sorts of stuff with that too. So yeah, yeah, I'm learning about this because in every other place that I've been that's forested, there's been a duff litter, a duff or litter layer, and to not have that, it's just weird to me. So yeah, but that's okay. It is okay. Um, oh, Homestead says, came up as a joke that raspberries are the only thing slug ignore. I'm not changing beer traps daily. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Do they ignore them? I'm guessing they do. Good night, Erica. Thank you for stopping. And what does it say? So I have on the channel um as a post. Let's read what it says. So far, 100% says Sunday. So if we keep that, which I hope we do, because I want Erica to be there, um, then this Sunday would be the Cook With Me Live. I'm hoping that it'll be Sunday so Erica can make it. I put this up before she said that. So, um, and that's going to close tomorrow evening sometime. So if you are going to cook with us, let us know. Yeah. Oh, beer traps didn't work for Steve. All right. Oh, 340 Quail Farm. Welcome. Um, hey Katrina, I'm having a hard time with transitioning seedlings inside to outside in the ground. Always end up shriveled and dead the next day. So you don't want to do it in one day. So that is called hardening off, and your plants need some time. If you just think about if you cover up all your skin and you're like protected from the sun and you've been like that since birth, and then you've thrown out into this drying heat. The sun finally is going behind the hill. And you get into this drying heat, you're going to get sunburned, you're going to get like all the moisture sucked out of you and all of that. So think of it as a baby. Yeah, and so exactly. So Verna's saying, Tim, did you harden them off first? That's I think what he's asking about. Um, so what you want to do is take them for a few hours every day at the beginning and do it in the shade. So just take your flat. First time hearing the term. Yeah, so harden like it's hard. It's called hardening them off. Don't know why it's called that, but it's called that. And so what you want to do is you want to take your seedlings, and basically take a week to harden them off ideally. And so take them out, put them in the shade. Put them in the shade in the morning or in the evening if you can. I don't know if you're going to be gone all day or whatever, but put them in the shade uh, so they can get dappled sun or very shaded sun, and let them get used to the elements slowly. So then the next day you bring them in for night because it's going to be colder than they want at night. So in outside you have very hot, very dry, versus especially where you are, it might not be as dry where you are, but very hot going to cooler. Now, depending on where you are, it could be very cold or it could be cooler. And your plant, if it's been inside and on maybe on a heat map and on lights and stuff, then it can't handle that snap of temperature change. So put them outside for a couple hours in the evening or in the morning, um, to get that sunshine, but not directly. Bring them back inside. Don't turn on the heat mats. They're already up. You don't need the heat mats once the seeds are up, in most cases. But have that transition take a few days. Next day, you put them out for maybe an hour more. And you can edge that into indirect sunlight and then full sun. And once you kind of baby step it out, I mean, think about your quail. I don't know if you have your quail inside or outside, but think about your quail, about how they go from, full on 90-degree, 99 point whatever, 100-degree brooder to being outside in the 40s. I mean, it takes time. You don't just do it right away. It takes time. Now, they do have feathers. Your tomatoes do not. But that will be good. Another thing to start doing is to give them either a fan or to just run your hand over them. And that is, I first heard about it. It was called spanking your tomatoes, like spanking. And what people would do is they just, like, here's a tomato, you just go like that. And what that does is it strengthens the stem. Like, oh, if I just tap it this way, it's going to come back. If I tap it that way, it's going to come back. And it gets stronger. So putting a fan in with your seedlings will do the same thing. Don't like, but, just a gentle fan. And that will get it used to surviving wind. So that's good to do kind of almost from the beginning when they germinate, like when they're first getting up. But definitely for hardening off and to transfer it into your garden, they have to have some time to adjust. And then once you do transfer them, it's a good idea to water them in. So you water them, make sure they have, good drink of water. And then you can even shade the ground underneath, like on top of the roots. So if you have some weeds or something that you can put over the ground just to shade the ground, it will cool the soil a little bit, enough for it to get used to it. I mean, you could even do shade cloth if you wanted to do it that way. I don't think you need to, but yeah. So doing things gradually is what you want to do. Did I miss anything anybody recommends? Let us know. Yeah, so hopefully that helps, Tim. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Serena says, anyone have earwigs? I have found a couple in the house and it's wet outside. I've had issues with earwigs, I think 1 or 2 years. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2, but they were eating my peaches. They were eating just the top, like where it's connected. And so you'd see this little tiny bite and the peach would drop. And then they wouldn't get that one, they'd go up and get another one. I don't know. But I've heard people do newspaper roll, like a roll of newspaper to get them. What did I hear about them putting around trunks of trees? There's something that can go around the trunks of trees. I don't remember what it is. What I have found is that they are attracted to electronics. And so if I put out a camera trap, guarantee you if there are earwigs, they will be right up by the camera the next day. So I don't know if that has any real garden advice or not, but yeah. Oh, Vern is allergic to the earwig bites. That's not good. Okay, so Steve has a good thing. They like moisture areas. Check around sinks or leaky faucets. That's good. Yeah, and so Steve's saying the same thing. Maybe a shade cloth would help you in their first week outside. Yeah, but definitely put them in the shade for at least the first few days, like fully in the shade, just for a few hours. If you have to do it for a full day, make sure it's actually in the shade. Like if you go to work or something and come back and it's gonna be dark or something. and then don't forget about them outside. I don't know how your lows go right now. If there's much shift at all. If there's not much shift, it might be fine. Yeah, Tim's in Florida, in case anybody's wondering. Yeah. So try that and let us know. Let us know. Earwigs love roses. They do, don't they? I wonder why. I wonder if why. Yeah, he's in Florida. He's in t-shirts and shorts. Exactly. Exactly. With fun shirts. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Has anybody else done anything for transferring your seedlings to outside? Like any tips besides what I said? Because I'm sure there's other things that you can do. Um, I just don't know what they are. Another thing that I do or I have done in the past is I add mycorrhizae to. I just pat the roots with some powdered mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae is a fungus, and you can buy it like you likely have seen it if you use wood chips. The white stringy stuff that grows in the wood chips is mycorrhizae. And it has a relationship with the plant, and it goes off and gets nutrients for those plants. So that's one way to get your garden to be healthier. Now you can buy mycorrhizae as a powder, as a granule. I like the powder better, because not for any real scientific reason, just because I like to be able to pat the roots directly with the powder, and then when it comes in contact with water, it kind of wakes that up. And there's certain species, I'm going to call it, I don't know if it's really called species, varieties of mycorrhizae that interact well and are symbiotic with certain varieties of plants. So when you put in the mixture stuff, not everything's gonna have a relationship with that plant. Some of them might go somewhere else. They might, I don't know, die or something, and then the other ones will have that relationship. But I like to do that in especially new beds, because if they are new beds, they don't have that already, or they don't have it established very well, and that can help your beds, the plants in your beds thrive. Yeah. Verna says after they get the first real leaves, you can put a gentle fan on the seedlings. Okay, after the first real leaves. Okay. To help their stems get stronger. Steve says we put our seedlings on the porch for a week before they go out to the beds. They get morning sun, but no direct sun by 10. So it's exactly it. You want to give them a chance. My seedlings right now, which I bought, I didn't plant them this year. Next year, guys. They're in boxes in the carport. So like they're in open boxes. They're exposed to enough light that they're going to live and be okay as long as I water them. But they are not getting so much light and so much heat that they dry out or get sunburned. And I would feel confident planting anything that I'm storing in the carport in I would be kind of confident planting any of that in the garden at any time, once the frost is done. Because even things that are more frost tender, not freeze tender, but frost tender, you could have outside under cover getting prepared to exist in the garden. I wouldn't put everything out there that's super, super sensitive, but if it's just frost tender and not freezing tender, then that's fine, because the chance of a frosting undercover is much lower. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, because somewhere it's going to happen. All right. Verna's last frost date is May 1st. All right, everybody look that up. I don't remember what my last one is. I don't remember what my first one is. So all you do is you type in your zip code. And then last frost date, and then I guess it wants the year 2025. Let's see what we get. Oakland area. Oh, you know I did. I put in the wrong one. Don't know where I live yet. Okay. Between April 21 and 30. And some regions in Oregon are expected to see frost as late as May 16 to 31, according to the Farmer's Almanac. So, yeah. So Mother's Day is about right for that then. That's what local people tell me. Yeah, Homestead Matters says we have a frost warning for this week. Okay, so the night that Rigatoni had her babies, which was Monday night, that morning I woke up and it was 33 degrees. The next night was 30, and it's like, oh my gosh, it shouldn't be this. Shouldn't be this. Steve says our last frost was the week of April 1st to 10th in Mississippi. Should we tell Tim what frost is? Tim, what's your frost dates? Yeah. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Steve. What is frost? Explain what that is. um And there's some things that survive frost just fine and some that don't. Where I was in California, I would throw out flax seeds and chia seeds into the front yard, and the flax did incredibly well. If it froze, then they would be gone. But if it just frosted, it would be fine. If there was any indication that it might frost, the chia seeds just I never got chia. But they have fun little leaves. They're little trapezoidal leaves. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this is icing, not frosting. Yeah, Homestead says, I hear you. I had put new quail babies in the brooder the coldest night in weeks. No losses. Good. Good, good. I made a mistake one time of putting them out on a cold night, even though they were 4 weeks old, and did not really realize how cold it was going to get. And they cuddled each other a little too hard. Some of them did not make it. And I made that mistake once. So now you don't have to. But yeah, once they're adults, though, they're fine. They're completely fine with cold and heat and all that. Frost is just a frozen form of dew. A frozen form of dew. That sounds like a poem. All right, my dad says it says our last frost date is June 20, but I know better. You can get frost any time of year, right? Joy, you must be warmer than me. April 11 to 20. Are you the same? Are you the same planting zone? I'm 8B. Mm-hmm. So, um, yeah, peppers and tomatoes are well past when you should have started. But you can start them in the ground, or you can start them now anyway. It just might be later. Steve says, "Goodness, John, I'll be sweating my butt off, dreaming of winter when you get your frost." Yep. May 1st for Verna and 6B. Yeah. Let's see what my parents are. Why is it telling me the current place I'm in for this? Okay. Well, goodness. If I can get to it, there we go. It wants an email. Oh my goodness. Well, don't go to that website. Anyway, there you go. Because of AI. I know. So, Verna, last year, when I went to the National Heirloom Expo in Ventura County, I was helping people look up their first and last, frost dates, their chill hours, all of that. And at some point, it started only returning stuff for my current location, and did not return anything else. Even not just the AI thing that pops up initially, but everything else would too. And I'm like, well, you got to do it on your phone. And then it started doing that for everybody. So like we just looked it up way too many times, like hundreds of times. Yeah. Okay, you're 8B too, or as well. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Steve says we moved from zone 7 to zone 8A, and we didn't even have to pay for moving. Yeah. Yeah. I think my parents actually moved to a colder zone, not a warmer zone. He says, haha, Steve, we have warm days and cold nights. We're 3,000 elevation. I think it's 3,000 plus, and very low humidity. Very low humidity. All right. Someone said something else. Homestead Matter says first flowers in tomatoes and tomatillos this week. Really, it it feels really now. Feels like spring. Yeah. Yeah, I will be planting my stuff fairly soon. I think this week the water line's going to get put in over to the garden area. I need to spread the garden stuff out, and I'll plant the trees and bushes in this trench that the guy dug for me. Oh, lifesaver. I mean, he put, well, had to dump out part of the soil from the dump trailer because it was too heavy to get up the hill. But after he did that, he did 3 separate trips up there, and there's a lot of soil now. I just need to put the cardboard out and add more cardboard. And he actually said he had another piece of equipment that he can come out, a smaller one, and actually move it around for me. I'm like, that will be fun. Then I can get to organizing it and planting it and setting up everything. So it'll be good. Steve says we sell knives to cut the humidity down here. Yeah, I made up a saying that I've never heard, but you would know exactly what I mean. It started pouring when I was at a store, and you can see the window several months ago, and it just like pouring. And I looked outside. I'm like, wow, it looks like somebody took a knife to the clouds, slit it open. Oh, yeah. 28% humidity at my parents'. I can't see my readout from here, but it's more than that probably. Yeah, Steve, what's your humidity? Who has the highest humidity? Is it Steve or is it Tim? Is Buster in the running for the highest humidity? 51 inside for Verna. I think it would probably be Tim or Buster that might have the highest. Maybe. Yeah. I've always had dry skin. I still have dry skin, but it's a lot less dry here than where I grew up. 59 outside. Yeah, I remember when I went to college in Iowa. That's humid. Um, the dorms has, oh, Oklahoma gets pretty humid though, Steve. He says I think Buster is low humidity with all that dead grass they grow in Oklahoma. I mean I've been to Oklahoma and it was moist. Yeah. Steve's at 77%. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. So my parents have a humidifier, so it's 45% inside right now. But when I went to, so I grew up with a whole house humidifier. It's like this big. I actually have one here. I haven't plugged it in at all, but it it was just like, oh, let's fill the humidifier. Okay, it's humidifying. And when I went to Iowa, there was a sign on this thing that was huge. And it says, "Do not turn off dehumidifier." And I was like, "Dehumidifier? What? That's not a thing. What?" I was laughing about it, and somebody looked at me and she's like, "What? What's so funny?" I'm like, "Dehumidifier?" She, "Oh yeah, it takes the water out of the air." Yes, and now that I've lived in those conditions, I understand why this is necessary in some places. Yeah. You get gallons out of the air. It's amazing. Somebody should do that and then sell the water to the West Coast. Um, have it instead of spring fed or spring water, it should be like, oh, someone find a cool name. Air water. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Okay, Buster's at 85%. See? I know Oklahoma's really, really humid. 70% and 74 degrees at Andes. 60% right now. I can't see my thing. 60% might be around right here. um, yeah, I don't have any humidity things. Humidity, like, there's no humidifier plugged in here or anything. It's just whatever nature provides. Yeah. Oh, that's because it's getting rain right now. In some places in the Midwest, it doesn't matter if it's raining or not. You still breathe water. I tell you what, going there, it's so hard to breathe. People say it's harder to breathe at higher elevations because there's less oxygen, but I'm like, at least you can get the air in, not through the water. Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah. So my topic of the night was going to be I have 42%. Should I actually get up and look and see what I actually say? Because I don't think 42 sounds low. I'm going to look. I was going to talk about the bunnies was the topic I was going to do. All right, let me look. Yeah, 57. 57% humidity is what mine is right now. Get the table back here. Yeah, 57% is it's comfortable. Yeah. So, Mama Kitty is letting me pet her more and more. It was so funny this morning at breakfast. Ringo wasn't there, and she was afraid to get up there next to me, and she finally did. And then she's like, but don't touch me. She kept on giving me these looks like, are you going to try? Because I really don't want you to. And then once he got up there, she immediately headbutted him. Man. Benadryl, are you okay, Myrna? Did you get stung by something? Or is it allergies? I know a lot of people are having allergies now for all the pollen and stuff. Um, yeah, allergies. Okay, good. Good. um, do you do honey for that? Does that work for you or no? Because some local honey, people say this, and I'm allergic to so few things, pollen wise, that I haven't been able to test it on myself. Um, but people say if you have local honey, that it helps out with your allergies. Oh, it's your worst year yet? What's blooming? What's blooming? What's going to be doing really well? Um, yeah, I'm allergic to the pollen of the poison hemlock and the tamarisk that is in Death Valley, but not other ones that I've come across. So it very specific one to that. And that one was my first experience with allergies, and it was terrible. So I'm sorry, you guys, everybody that has allergies. Yeah. Oh, Verna, you can't find any real local honey? I'm sure somebody has it. They might not be selling it though, huh? Somebody has to have bees out there. Um, yeah, local honey would be good. You do have to check on local honey. Like if just the container says local, don't trust it. See where it's from. Buy it from a person. Yeah. Steve says I'm not saying the pollen is bad here, but my silver truck is now light green. I have a bunch of pollen on my car too. Yeah. Oh, the place you used to get it at doesn't sell anymore. Yeah. So when I was in California, there was a few places that sold it off the side of the road, and they were like right in front of where they had their bees and stuff. And then there was a guy. I need to put the video together. Sorry, I think his name is Brian. Sorry. Um, I spent the day with him, and he actually had beehives in other people's backyards in his urban beekeeping, and he's able to take all those honeys and mix them together so you have a wider immunity area, or not immunity, but a wider area that is your local. So it's just interesting. Okay, Joyce says I use stinging nettle capsules for allergies. I didn't know that was an allergy fighter. I guess it makes sense that it has that sting that's used for something. Yeah. Allergic to the tree that has long pollen stems. Don't know the name of it. So those long pollen stems are called catkins, and there's a lot of different things that have them. I don't know what would be by you. Mulberries. Don't they have? I don't know if they're long. There's a lot of them that have that. Oh, Joy says trees and grass for me. Oh yeah, I think I'm allergic to like Italian rye or something. There's some grass that flowers in the East Bay area in California. Not mulberries. Okay. Oak trees do have those. That is true. Yeah, so they're called catkins, and it's just the male part of the process. There's a lot of different plants that have them. The hazelnuts had them really early on. I should actually go back through and see when that was, write it down. But I just like went to touch one, like, oh look, it's growing, and it would poof. Yeah, and I don't know what's next to flower tree wise, or if the trees are all done. The cherry, what I think are cherries, but not the cherry here by the apple trees. But I think are cherries, like maybe sour cherries, or that's the last to bloom so far. I did find out from my neighbor that I do know what two of the three apple trees are. Um, so they're really really old. They were planted in probably the 40s. Um, Gravenstein apple is the baking apple, the one I think the one, if my dad's still on, the one that you guys made so much picking up and applesauce and apple juice. And then giant Jeetun apple. I don't know how to spell it. And that's the one across the street, and that one apparently makes really good applesauce. So I have names of them from my neighbor who used to know the people who were original owners of this house. So that's pretty cool. And they're very old trees. Like I said, they're probably planted in the 40s, when the house was built. And I mean, They're almost 100 years old. Yeah. Mimosa trees. Do those have catkins? I just don't remember the flowers. Mimosa trees, is that the same thing as a silk tree? Are we talking about the same thing? I think we are. Mimosa tree and silk tree. Yes, it is the same thing. So the flowers of those have medicinal properties, and I don't remember what it is, but they have medicinal properties, and you should know that. Yeah. Okay, Timothy grass is close to pollinating here. Joy, can you identify Timothy grass? I want to know what I have. You want to come look at my grasses? Some of them are starting to flower right now, so I definitely want to know, what's there, because there's a lot more than I thought there were. Silver birch tree. Yeah, those will have the catkins. Well, and the thing is, the pollen goes forever, so they're hard to avoid. Pine trees are bad for a lot of people, Joy. Pine trees and juniper trees, because the wind will come and you'll just see this puff of yellow, especially with the juniper trees. Yeah. Andy says, I don't know that. Oh, you didn't. You do know that about mimosas. Yeah. I don't remember what it's good for, but it's medicinal somehow. Okay, my dad says our native juniper trees here are supposed to be horrible for allergies, but they don't bother us. The people that are allergic are highly allergic is pretty much, but the people that I know that are allergic, that's pretty much what I've heard. Yeah. Um, Never bothered me. Yeah. But there you go. You could you could sell the berries. They're used medicinally, they're used in air fresheners, and they're used in gin. I don't know if they're used for anything else. The juniper berries. Probably. Um, if you boil them in water, the water as a spritz is supposed to be, is it antiseptic? Is that right? It's supposed to be cleansing of the air and the surfaces that it goes on. I know that was one of the things some people were doing during COVID was that as a natural helper outer. Let's just say that. Oh, Andy just found out about mimosa trees a few months ago. Yeah, they also, I think they're the ones that if you touch the leaves, then they're like, no, don't touch me. And the leaves actually retract. I think it's that one. Ooh, yes, do that, Joy, please. Joy's going to put a picture of Timothy close up with a hand for scale on the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. Yeah, I'm trying to identify. I'm not really. I'm just taking pictures and then ignoring half of them. But yeah, we can help each other identify stuff. Grasses are one thing that are grasses as a whole can be difficult to identify. If you narrow down what your possibilities are, it's much easier. Like I know a few of them out there. Like the wild oats is very easy. It's actually, I think the seeds are probably almost edible now because you can eat them when they're green and they're very sweet. Yeah. Yes. Oh, my dad says then what would the robins get drunk on? They do. They do get drunk on that. In case anybody is asking what I'm been snacking on, it is Robert Redford cake, which we made with the Cook With Me Live group, the members, and we have another Cook With Me Live this coming weekend, where we're going to make a whole bunch of different things, baked goods, and then after that, we're going to maybe concentrate on food instead of desserts. We also made beef stroganoff along with this cake. So it's all good. Mm-hmm. So growing up, we had a bird, a robin, that a robin that had a nest in a tree right outside my parents' bedroom. And every morning it would go up higher in the tree, go down, crash into the window, fall down, go up in the tree, crash into the window, fall down, over and over and over, over and over and over again. And we could never figure out what it was. There was a mirror across the side, and so they took down the mirror. It wasn't that. It wasn't a reflection. They put up a poster of a cat. That didn't help. I think you guys even did bird netting, right? Um, anyway, all sorts of stuff. And I think we finally came to the conclusion that it was just trying to move the house further away from the nest. I don't know. But I think it taught its babies because how long did that go on? How many years did that happen for? Do you remember? It was a lot. Bumper. As named by little kids, right? Andy says, I am picking out some eggs to set tonight. Hopefully, the quail house will be done by the time they hatch. That's my plan. Andy, may it be a plan that is realized and is reality, because that's testing fate. Which is why I haven't hatched anything since I've been here. I don't want to be in a situation where I don't have the appropriate place for them. I could do something temporary. I'm not going to, though, because I know I'm not ready, and I'm not ready, and that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So what kind are you setting? What do you got going? Yeah, I do have asparagus to plant as well. The asparagus takes 3 years. I bought some as starts that I thought were going to be a lot bigger. They're this year's, but whatever. And then I bought some that are crowns that are probably a couple of years old, so I probably could start eating them next year. It might not, but they're pretty big. But I need to put them in the ground, and so now that I have a trench, I can do that. I was thinking I was going to do that tonight, but it's probably not going to happen. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Ooh, Andy says we got the roof built today. We are just waiting till after these few storms, possibly days, to pass to put it up. There you go. Okay, so you've already started it. That's good. Good to hear. Okay, mostly celadons. All right. All right. Do you notice a difference in their shells at all? Is your cubby pretty strong? I've heard a lot of people with celadons have thinner shells or more brittle shells. For anybody watching that doesn't know what we're talking about, celadon refers to the egg color. It's bluish. There's different colors of blue that it could be. May or may not have little dots on it, um, and can really come from any physical color of bird. And the bird that she's talking about is a Caturnix quail. Um, okay, you got solid wall up already. Good. Okay, so you'll make it. You'll make it. Okay, the birds hitting the middle lasted a few years. I remember it being like a thing, or year after year thing. So I don't know how many years it was. I remember that, and there was Croaker, which was a frog that lived underneath the house. We were really good at naming things. Okay, strong eggs for them so far. Good, good, good. Yes, the celadon gene is a recessive gene. So both mom and dad have to have um, the recessive gene for their baby girl to lay blue eggs. And every hen that lays blue eggs will pass on a gene that is a recessive gene, and every male may or may not, and they're much harder to tell, and you just have to test them. Test them against celadons and test them against other ones. They may have one celadon and one not celadon, or they may have two celadon. So if you're aiming for always having celadon layers, that's a test you need to do, or someone who gave you the eggs should have already done it. Yeah. Thank you, Verna. And Verna says there's also a croaker that is a fish in the Gulf of Mexico. I wonder what it sounds like. Oh my goodness, Steve. Won't say anything about the guy about the weak eggs. Didn't have a good gene pool. Only had 3 celadon males that he used for multiple generations. That is a weak gene pool. Yep. I figured it croaks, Vernon. I want to hear it though. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Andy says these birds were hatched out in December of 2022. So it's about time I hatched to keep back from them. Yeah. So that's actually pretty old. It's pretty good. December 2022. Okay. So Katrina's quail have a laying lifespan of about 2 years. 1 year if you're doing special stuff, but you don't have to replace them all the time. You can mix in new blood, but yeah, that'd be good. It was a golden croaker, has a yellow patch under its mouth. Oh my god. Does it do this? Does it do that? Can you guys? That's my special talent. I don't know why it's special. Nope, it doesn't do that, or you can't do it. It doesn't do that. You would think it would, like a frog. I don't know. There goes my mouse. Speaking of animals. No, it was just a mouse. Let's see if it stayed together. Well, I've lost my mouse. I got to use the pad on the laptop. My goodness, we've devolved to talking about golden croakers. All right, what are you guys planning on doing this week? I'm planning on getting trees and bushes planted into this trench that was dug, and maybe laying out some cardboard and finishing processing for rabbits. That's what I'm planning on doing. So, do you guys have goals for the week? Those are my goals for the week. Oh, and I'm also going to get the Cook With Me Live stuff up onto the internet so you guys know what the ingredients are. So we're making a bunch of different things. You're gonna make, so we've made challah bread before, which is a Jewish braided bread. With saffron, it's delicious. I'm gonna do that, and but I'm going to make them into rolls. So I don't know how long they're gonna cook, but I'm gonna do them for making into rolls for a bake sale. We're going to also make, so you can make one or all of these with us for the Cook With Me Live. We're also going to make a really yummy white chocolate chip muffin. Going to do Mrs. Fields cookies and peanut butter cookies. Now for the live, we're probably only going to make the dough for the cookies unless we get ambitious and want to try it, because that might happen. And then I'll cook those later in the week, and we'll give you instructions on how long and stuff. But I know the Mrs. Fields cookies are freezable. I suspect the peanut butter cookies are as well. The dough, and so you roll in the dough into a ball, put it in the freezer, and then you bring it out, thaw it to room temperature. I'm guessing, I don't know what temperature, and then bake it as usual. So that's going to be likely what we do with those, just because of time. But yeah, so we're going to do those 4 things, or any one of those. So that's going to be a lot. All right, let's see. People's goals. Verna's talking about the croaker. It's a good eating fish. I caught a lot of them when I was in Galveston years and years ago. Okay. Not a fish eater. Steve says my goal is not doing squat. You're gonna stand the whole time. Ooh, pineapple water pie. Verna loves water pie. I still haven't had it. I'm okay with that, but it does sound interesting. So pineapple water pie, is it made with pineapple chunks or is it made with pineapple juice? I've seen videos of it since she's brought it up. I've looked it up. It's interesting, but I don't think I've had it. Andy says my goal is to get the quail house finished and the quail cages moved in this week. Unless it rains, then the next 2 weeks. Alternate plans. Okay. Verna's going to finish organizing the apartment and downsizing. You know what, Verna? That is a big task. And you've been in the same situation with me as far as like packing, unpacking stuff still in boxes. Yeah. You moved right before me, right? Is that right? Right before me or right after me? It was right around the same time. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Okay, pineapple juice instead of water. That's what I thought you might be doing. Pineapple is good. And freeze dries it really well. And freezes really well. A month after me. Okay. It was about the same time. I mean, I'm saying that is the realm of the same time. Yeah, pineapple juice is good. That's good. Also, if you cut up pineapple and you freeze it, and then you want pineapple again, it thaws into exactly what you cut it up and put it in. It doesn't mush. It doesn't change at all, really. Yeah. That's right. That's right. You moved the week of QuailCon. I remember that now. Okay, Andy says I want to try canning pineapple someday. So Andy, I said this last year and then I moved. I will be doing the fake pineapple this year. You can basically turn zucchini into pineapple. Poof, magic. When you're canning. So it's zucchini and pineapple juice and sugar and lemon juice. I think that might be it, maybe. And it really does. I mean, the zucchini soaks in all that flavor, and it becomes very close to pineapple. Close enough that you're like, hey, I'm growing pineapple right here. And I mean, maybe you don't make a pineapple upside down cake. Maybe you do. But yeah, it'd be good. Right. So Verna likes freeze-dried pineapple with spicy seasoning. It's to die for. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yes, really. Andy, plant extra zucchini. Plant extra zucchini. It's on, so let me give you a link. Okay. National Center for Home, the E, Food Preservation, canning pineapple. Fake pineapple. I think it's called faux pineapple. No, it's called pineapple zucchini, I think. Pineapple zucchini. So I am going to do a video on this, but I will leave this right here. All right, there you go, Andy. Here comes the link. So that I've made it. I've actually not shredded, but like my KitchenAid has a attachment thing that can either dice or shred or whatever. And I did shred it, and it really comes out like crushed pineapple, but it's really good to add to like on top of your eggs or your greens cooked with eggs. For some reason, it's really good on that. It's really good on many things, actually. But yeah, so this, let me actually share this. Let me share it with you. Show you guys what this is all about. Present. You can do green zucchini, and I think you can do the excuse me, the yellow. But the yellow has more of a buttery flavor, so I don't know how that would come out. But I mean, try it. Why not? Share screen. Share. Okay, so this is the National Center for Home Food Preservation. It's a really good one to know about. And they do sell a book that you can print. I highly suggest getting that in case the internet goes down or power goes out and you're canning things, or just to mark up your own thing. But they don't, obviously your book doesn't update. So if there's updates, you have to, write it in. But you can, yeah, so 4 quarts cubed or shredded zucchini, 46-ounce canned unsweetened pineapple juice, 1.5 cups bottled lemon juice, 3 cups sugar. You can reduce the sugar in this, and I tried it, and it just doesn't taste the same. So just be forewarned on that if you try that. Yeah. And it can be done in half pints or pints. And it's a water bathing. So it's kind of like pickling. So you don't even need a pressure canner. It's a water bathing. So how do you acidify zucchini enough to can it? You turn it into pineapple. So yeah, there you go. You can even print this page if you want. So when I talk about the book that is available for this, you have to pay for it because they have to print it. And for me, it's better to just have the printed bound copy. And then if you only do one recipe, let's say, maybe it's not worth it to you. But if it isn't, then you can literally just print this page. You can also, I think, you can also download the PDF, but then it's the PDF, and either you have to print it or you have to have it on your computer and scroll through it. So anyway, but there's a lot of things on here. You can see all the stuff over to the left. We're in the fruit section. That's where it brings you into for this. But yeah. Oh, stewed rhubarb. That does not sound good. Tomatoes, salsa, all these things. A whole bunch of different things on here. So hopefully that helps. And now you have the thing. Print is always better. Absolutely. And you can make notes in it and all of that too. Yeah, you do have a way to can if stuff happens. Exactly. If power goes out, you probably won't be canning. My stove is electric. Okay, so my stove is electric too, but I have solar panels and it's not hooked up yet. But once it's hooked up, I don't have to worry about canning season as far as, because when you're a canner and you have canning season, your bill goes up. So it won't go up for that reason, and it will also be the freeze dryer will also be on the solar, so that's really cool. Yeah. So Marina says you can also turn zucchini into pickles. Absolutely, and it makes really good pickles. You can follow I think any pickle recipe works for zucchinis. Yeah, it's basically just acidifying, making sure the acid is there. You can't just can them like you would with like peaches or something. It has to have acid in it to water bath can. And I wouldn't pressure can them because why would you do that? It would just be mush. Yeah. As thick as the book is. Yeah, exactly. Verna, I have tried pickling watermelon rinds, and it was absolutely nasty. So I probably did it wrong or didn't put in some ingredient. But so I've heard lots of people like it, and whatever I did, it just didn't turn out for me. Maybe it was a type of watermelon. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I definitely recommend printing out that book or more, my higher recommendation is to pay to, have them print it, and you can have it on your shelf. And I don't know where mine is. I am missing a couple of my canning books, and I know I was likely looking at them for planning a season, because they're like, my ball canning book is missing, the big book of ball. My National Center for Home Food Preservation one is missing, and then there's one more that's missing. I don't know where it is. It's probably in another room. But good night, Verna. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And say hi to Lucy. But I think I probably should just get another one at this point, because I don't know where it ran off to. It's probably under a pile somewhere, honestly. But having two wouldn't be bad either. But definitely, so every year you kind of hear, they don't really make an announcement, and they really should, but you kind of hear that there's something updated, like the headspace for chicken updated a few years ago. So you're supposed to have, I don't know what it is now. I think it's 1.5 inches instead of 1 inch of headspace. It increased, and that's because of science, right? That's because they did experiments, and they're like, oh wow, this actually is better. So you just have to write that in your book, or get a new book, but you might as well just write it in your book. Processing times might change. I know white peaches, all of a sudden one year you weren't supposed to can. I don't know why. If it's an acid thing, you should just add lemon juice and call it good, but I don't know why. But it's okay. Andy says, my hubby used to say I was going to run the electric bill up when I canned. I told him, look, I just made 7 meals at one time that will only take maybe 10 minutes to cook after I open the jar. Save. Exactly. That is true. That is true. But it is all at once. And so it's like, whoa, what was the bill again? So I get it. I get it. But also, now is the time to be thinking about what you're going to can. And I know I'm going to can my pineapple. I know I'm going to, I don't know if it's going to be this year, honestly, because just everything's all over the place right now. But I know I want to preserve more greens. And I'm not necessarily saying can that. I'm saying maybe freeze dry or frozen. I don't know if it's too late for peas here. My neighbor just replanted her peas. A lot of her peas drowned in the storm. Oh, and I just took Remy for her last walk of the day. Remy is a very energetic, cute puppy. She's not a puppy anymore, but she's still a puppy. Right. Yeah. So Steve says you're just upping the utility now and saving the grocery store later. Yeah. And then, part of that for like raising animals too is the same thing for, it costs me more to raise a rabbit to processing than it would be to buy a chicken, but I also, me being me, I wouldn't pay for a quality chicken. um, I'm feel better about paying for the food for the animals, and you don't pay for it all at once, even though, I mean, you kind of do, but and once they're out on the pasture, I haven't gotten a good sense of what percentage they get from the pasture yet, and I don't really have a strong pasture right now. Now, I do plan on taking out of the equation at some point, hopefully soon. I don't know how long it'll last. The knapweed, but the knapweed is a very high protein forage for them, so they actually go there first. They like it, but it is a noxious weed that is, I mean, likely causes cancer on contact for people that pull it over and over again. I know someone I met someone that, like, that was what he was, like the knapweed pulling guy, and he developed cancer on his thumb. It's like, well, what are we doing with the thumb, right? And that was his assumption. But with grocery items like vegetables and fruits, you can benefit a lot more financially by growing things yourself. I would say you're not growing animals because of financially, unless you're raising all the food. But or like, if you have pasture and you have beef and you raise them only off your pasture, right? If you're still buying food for them, you're not likely saving money. But what you're doing is you're getting animals that what the input was in, they raised well and all of that. But for fruits and vegetables, you definitely have an advantage because what you eat fresh, you're not paying for beyond the water or the seeds, right? Or the starts, even. Like, let's say you pay $5 for a tomato start, which is a lot, but let's say that happens. And, you're going to get more than $5 back from that plant. So, yeah. Um, Andy says, after my freezer and refrigerators, 7, went out on me over 5 years, I didn't trust saving food with electricity, so rather canned meat. Yeah. And canned meat is wonderful. People who maybe have bought it in store might not understand that home canned meat is much different. Um, it's more like if you were put in a crock pot or something, not squishy squish. And if you par cook it, then the structure holds up better and all that. So yeah. Okay, Andy says I made and canned homemade spam. Oh, that was good. What is in your homemade spam? I would like to know. Canned chicken is the best. Yep, chicken's good, rabbit's good, quail's good. Um, the thing with quail is it's very quick because you just shove them in there. I mean, you can cut off the legs and put them differently, but you can just shove it in there, bones and all. But if you do that, you're going to have bones to pick out, and they're pretty small. So that's the only thing with that. I've done beef. I've done turkey. Um, it all turns out very good. And you can do bone in, not bone in. You can par cook it first. You can all the way cook it first. I would say, on the whole, if you're looking for quality, par cooking something before it goes in is going to give you the best texture. Flavor is going to be pretty much the same. But like I did that with a bunch of rabbit one time, and honestly, for me, I don't have the time to do that all the time, so I don't. Um, yeah, yeah. She's not going to tell me how she made her spam. It's not going to happen. Homestead says, out now as about to pick quail for Tom Kage. I don't know what that is. Tasty, tasty. Have a good week, y'all. Have a good week, and we will see you next Thursday. Next week is going to be on Thursday, not Monday, because I have a bee group that I'm involved in on the first Monday of the month. So I'll try to send out reminders on the Facebook group and on the posts and stuff. So yeah. Oh, good ham like spiral ham, lesser pork. Okay. All right. All right, guys. I am thinking it's time to go. And hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully this was a good conversation for you. And we will see you next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And look forward to some rigatoni birth videos. And we'll go from there. All right. Thank you for watching. And TTF then. N. Thank you for now. Verna's not here. I don't know abbreviations. All right. Ta-ta for now. That's what it is, isn't it? All right. Thank you guys for coming. I enjoy talking with you guys, and have a wonderful week and a half. And we will see you next week on Thursday. All right. Andy's going to be watching for the videos. All right. Have a wonderful night, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.